Welcome to Cosmic Chosen. Stop. Breathe. Listen, not just with your ears, but with your spirit. This message wasn't randomly placed in your path. Heaven orchestrated this moment with divine precision. Why? Because this is your final warning before the shift. The next 3 weeks will not be like the rest. They are sacred. They are decisive. They are dangerous. You've been waiting, praying, surviving. But now you're standing at the threshold. The entire world, yes, this world, has been wrapped for you like a divine gift. But it doesn't arrive in ribbons and glitter. It comes in tests, attacks, betrayals, and pressure that tries to make you doubt your identity. And that's what the enemy wants. Not to take your gift, but to convince you to walk away from it yourself. Everything you've asked for is already yours in the spirit. The health, the financial freedom, the soulmate, the platform, the peace. But there's a final gate, and that gate is obedience, awareness, action. Heaven is sounding the trumpet right now. Chosen one, if you ignore this message, you risk losing everything. You've felt the pressure building. You've seen the signs, the unusual dreams, the spiritual warfare, the isolation, the strange timing of attacks. That's not chaos. That's confirmation. Because what's coming is too big to enter unnoticed. What's coming requires you to move like someone who knows the world was literally tailor-made for their light. God didn't put you here to blend in. He sent you to own the room, command the atmosphere, and unlock destinies, starting with your own. This is not just a message. It's an activation. You are the inheritance. You are the shift. You are the reason this world still turns. So wake up. Step up. Unwrap what God wrapped in eternity just for you. The fact is, however, that this danger is also your opportunity. An opportunity to ascend, change, and enter a power you have never experienced before. You're already experiencing the things you've been wishing for, but only if you have your mind and heart ready today. This is a test and a spiritual awakening, not merely a change. Your strength, your faith, and your attention will be tested over the course of the next 3 weeks. To assist us reach 5,000 fighters who are prepared to stand strong, hit like, subscribe, and comment 99 times before we go any farther. A strong indication to the cosmos that you're prepared. Recall that only those who are genuinely selected will remain till the very end. You risk losing the benefits that are waiting for you if you turn away now. Your time, your caution, your call to action is now. Pay close attention. Your life is on the line. The next 21 days are not like any other. God Himself created them in great detail. A hallowed window brimming with spiritual passion and divine intent. Imagine yourself on the outskirts of a vast battleground and not knowing whether you would encounter a storm or a dawn. We're at that point right now. Your patience, trust, and spirit will all be put to the ultimate test at this time. The selected will either be elevated or consumed during this season of reckoning, when the invisible forces conflict. These periods are characterized by spiritual currents that many people are not aware of. However, God is announcing a wake-up call to individuals He has personally selected for bigger things. Now is the time to widen your eyes, hone your senses, and be ready for both conflict and breakthrough. Yes, there will be breakthroughs, but there will also be challenges meant to strengthen your commitment and hone your character. It's about change, not simply perseverance. Despite the fact that these 3 weeks will feel like a fire, those who come out of them will be stronger, wiser, and more in line with their divine destiny. A significant new chapter is about to begin in your story. You have a clear decision to make. Will you accept this heavenly invitation, or will you succumb to the dangers that lie ahead? Recognize this clearly. There will be a great deal of spiritual strain during the next 3 weeks. You are in danger from forces that want to thwart your destiny, as well as from the situations that surround you. There won't be any subtle pressure. It will seem as if your soul is being battered by unrelenting seas. Listen up, though, you are also under grace. Even in the midst of a storm, God's kindness is all around you, and His protecting hand is around you. Although many people have already started to see improvements in their relationships, health, and money, the danger still exists. The balance between heavenly favor and peril is fragile. Imagine using a torch to navigate across a pitch-black wilderness. Even though you can feel exposed and stumbling, the light keeps you on course. You have to be alert, but your breakthrough is on the horizon. This season is not meant to be a punishment. It serves as a testing ground. Now, every obstacle you encounter is a chance for God to use you to demonstrate His might. Threat and grace coexist, putting your patience, trust, and dedication to the test. Remain vigilant. Remain modest. How you react will determine whether you win or lose. God is doing breakthrough miracles all around you. People are experiencing unexpected answers to their prayers. Debt is being settled. The restoration of health is underway. Long-standing obstacles are dissolving. These aren't random occurrences. These appointments are amazing. If you pay careful attention, you'll witness tales of cash windfalls, surprise cures, and abrupt promotions occurring every day. Consider a family that is drowning in debt and receives an unexpected windfall, or a person who has battled disease for years and suddenly wakes up pain-free. These instances are evidence of God's unceasing efforts on behalf of His people and His fingerprints on our lives. Even if you can't see your breakthrough yet, it may already be happening. However, trust and preparedness are necessary for breakthroughs. They aren't just thrown into your lap without some planning. God's grace is ready to overflow, and His timing is flawless. However, you have to be open to accepting it. Even as the pressure increases, maintain your optimism and keep going ahead. God still has room in His heart for you, regardless of how far you've gone. This is your chance to get back on your feet if you've given up or felt hopeless. God is very forgiving and never stops. He's calling you back, asking you to come back with a ready heart and open arms. You are not defined by your history. Any failing is outweighed by His kindness. Imagine the prodigal son, far from home, lost and damaged, but greeted with joy upon their return. You are now awaiting that same grace. No fall is too deep, and no error is too large. Instead of condemning you, God is giving you a new beginning, a blank slate, and the opportunity to change the course of your life. This season is about more than simply perseverance. It's about redemption. God desires for you to emerge from the ashes of your past with more strength and resolve than before. He's giving someone a lifeline. Are you going to understand it? This second opportunity is uncommon and precious. Keep it from slipping away. The toughest virtue to uphold is often patience, particularly in the face of unrelenting adversity. The divine promise, however, is that your patience will not be in vain. The breakthrough is close for those who have persevered through the long, lonely nights. Like a dawn after the worst storm, the prize for your tenacity is waiting to be revealed. Recall the tale of Joseph, who rose to prominence after enduring years of detention and treachery. Although your route may seem like a challenge, it is also the means to success. Those who wait on God with unflinching faith and unflinching hearts are honored by God. Who really believes in God's timetable will be exposed during the following 3 weeks. Continue even if you may feel worn out, demoralized, or like giving up. What will allow you to get the rewards that God has set aside for you is your perseverance. Change is seldom easy. God often needs to knock us down in order to strengthen us. Similar to a skilled craftsman's workshop, these weeks will be tough, difficult, and always have a purpose. You'll be put to the test, pushed beyond your breaking point, and made to face the aspects of yourself that no longer contribute to your greater good. Consider the transformation of the caterpillar into a butterfly. Before it can reveal its whole beauty and might, it must withstand the cocoon's gloomy imprisonment. Although this process may seem overwhelming or alienating, it is essential to your spiritual development. By the conclusion of these weeks, a lot of people will have changed from when they started this season. You'll have overcome old anxieties, broken bad habits, and entered a new realm of purpose and trust. The process's agony is just momentary. What follows will always be glorious. Like a tidal surge battering a brittle beach, the spiritual dangers you encounter will not let up. Every day, this pressure will test your convictions, your determination, and your spirit. Emotional outbursts, bewilderment, or unexpected character testing may occur. Will you be able to withstand the pressure, or will you give way? The ferocity of the spiritual warfare is frequently underestimated by those who stray away. However, those who persevere and firmly rely on prayer and faith will win. This is a pivotal point in your spiritual development, one that will distinguish the dedicated from the inattentive. Keep in mind that maintaining your position does not relieve the strain. It indicates that you're not going to let it break you. It entails clinging to God's promises despite your innermost desires to give up. This is a call to action for you. Some of God's chosen have strayed from their actual course and are abusing the talents and benefits that have been bestowed upon them for their own selfish or even destructive ends. Pride, avarice, or self-centered ambition were never intended purposes for these talents. Rather, they were intended to be instruments of light, meant to encourage and bless others. The benefits become curses when these holy powers are misused for selfish ends or evil intent, undermining the very goal God intended. The lovely thing is that God's heart is always receptive to healing. Regardless of how far you've gone or how many errors you've made, it doesn't matter. His kindness is waiting for you to return. You may return to God's loving arms, just as the prodigal son did, who left his father's home and returned shattered and humbled. This is your chance to rise above the darkness and realign with the divine purpose for which you were created. Don't disregard the weight of remorse or a stirring in your heart that calls you home. This is your opportunity to really repent, seek forgiveness, and take back the holy task that God has assigned you. True blessings originate from hearts that have been given up, not from the abuse of authority. The reward, a restored sense of purpose and divine favor, is immeasurable, but the road back may be difficult. It's easy to mistake the challenges and demands you encounter for punishment. However, this couldn't be farther from the reality. God is not a stern arbiter who is ready to pass judgment. He is a devoted parent preparing his kids for something far bigger. Consider an athlete who goes through intense training before to a championship match. Strength, endurance, and skill are developed via those hard, rigorous sessions. In the same vein, God is using these trying weeks to teach you spiritually. God uses every hardship and challenging circumstance as a tool to help you become a better person. You are being cleaned of impurities as fire purifies gold, so that you are prepared for the role and responsibility that God has planned for you. Although the process might sometimes seem unfair or burdensome, it is the means to your success. Your fate is being shaped by preparation rather than punishment. Keep in mind that God's loving hand is leading you through every hardship. In retrospect, you will regard this time as the furnace in which your spirit was raised, your faith strengthened, and your character strengthened. Greatness often requires hard work and planning, and you are being urged to welcome this time of year with bravery and optimism. Expect significant changes in the next weeks, both within and outside. Unexpected emotional surges, such as weeping, joy, bewilderment, or sudden serenity, might occur, indicating that God is at work inside you on many levels. Before new realities that liberate us are revealed, spiritual awakenings often rock the basis of our pre-existing behaviors and beliefs. Moments of divine revelation, enlightening dreams, unexpected prayerful clarity, or a profound inner sense that you are being called to enter a new season are all possible. Your emotions and intellect may be tested by these encounters. Accept them as gifts instead. They are God's method of revealing to you the bigger picture that lies beyond your present difficulties. It is normal to have emotional outbursts when your soul wakes. They are the words of a soul that has been awakened. Give yourself permission to experience intense emotions, communicate openly, and undergo transformation as a result of this holy emotional and spiritual upheaval. Your readiness to allow God to unveil what is within of you is directly related to your breakthrough. You have to jealously guard your spiritual energy if you want to advance. Not everyone around you is looking out for your best interests. Certain connections and influences deplete your energy and impair your concentration, causing you to stray from the divine purpose for your being. God is urging you to distance yourself from harmful relationships that impede your development and make difficult but essential decisions. This is about knowing who feeds your spirit and who drains your power, not about dumping people because you're afraid or arrogant. Instead of surrounding yourself with people who sow doubt, distraction, and despair, surround yourself with people who inspire, elevate, and strengthen your faith. In the same way that a gardener pulls weeds to encourage the growth of flowers, you must eliminate spiritual clutter to create space for gifts. You must devote yourself entirely to your vocation. Your heart must be clear and your mind concentrated if you want to hear God clearly and walk firmly. This time of year is an invitation to make space in your life, both physically and spiritually, so that God may work without interference. It is impossible to exaggerate how urgent this message is. This is your last chance to wake up and answer. God is working powerfully at the moment, and this window of opportunity won't last forever. Many have already aligned themselves with God's purpose after sensing the stirring of this heavenly season, leading to breakthroughs and spiritual elevation. You run the danger of missing the most important turning point in your spiritual path if you delay and are preoccupied with the daily grind. Don't put off answering God's call until it's too late. This is a moment for action and trust, not for indolence or uncertainty. Their readiness to take the initiative will determine whether they succeed or fail. Consider this to be your last caution, a holy call to set your course on the route that God has planned. This is the time to reshape your life, your beliefs, and your future. Avoid looking back regretfully. Make the decision to boldly enter God's unfolding plan. You were selected to walk in triumph because you were created with purpose and for a divine reason. God is now announcing that you are not abandoned, regardless of how you may have felt ignored, forgotten, or undeserving. The time has come for you to seize your destiny. You have not missed the breakthroughs, blessings, and favor that were meant for you. They are prepared, but you too need to be prepared. Occasionally, doubts come in and whisper falsehoods of inadequacy, making the trip seem lonely. But keep in mind that God's promises are based on His unfailing love and faithfulness, not on your perfection. You are a member of a community of chosen ones, people who are being prepared to rise, shine, and accomplish the greater goals that God has for them. Knowing that you are a part of God's great plan allows you to stand tall. Now is the moment for you to fully embrace your calling. Refuse to be marginalized or accept less. Your breakthrough is just around the corner, and God is working in your life. When confronted with the unknown, fear is normal, but it should never be the reason you give up. God encourages you to take bold action and have faith that He will lead you every step of the way. This season is a heavenly test meant to show you the power you never knew you possessed, not to break you. Every decision you make to maintain your faith is a win against the forces attempting to prevent you from moving forward. Think about the biblical heroes of faith. They succeeded because they chose obedience and faith in spite of their anxieties, not because they were brave. The same is expected of you. The miracles and breakthroughs that await you will be made possible by your bravery in facing your fears and taking action. Do not wait for the fear to go away. It may not. However, make the decision today that your faith outweighs your fear. Your weakness makes God's might flawless. Additionally, you become closer to the divinely predetermined course of events with each act of obedience. Now is the time to get up. This is the time of breakthrough, change, and spiritual exaltation. However, it is only available to those who are prepared, those who have readied their souls, hearts, and minds for the future. God is calling out soldiers of faith, those who are prepared to totally submit and unreservedly accept His plan. This ascent is not the result of chance or coincidence. It is the result of your tenacity, loyalty, and readiness to be molded by God's hand. who is ready to experience God's gifts in their fullest form, and who will have to wait for another chance will be made clear over the course of the following 3 weeks. Are you prepared to take control of your future? To walk bravely into the purpose God has planned for you, to welcome change, and to let go of fear? Now is the moment. Awaiting you is your ascent. Say yes now and see how God transforms your life. God is revealing the actual character of individuals who identify as His chosen at this crucial time. The next 3 weeks will serve as a heavenly filter, exposing those who are acting and those who are really dedicated. It is a period when genuine souls show through and facades fall apart. You will no longer keep hidden what you have been concealing under the surface. Your sincerity of commitment and faith will be put to the ultimate test. Some seemingly innocuous relationships, routines, or even ideas may turn out to be compromises or diversions. This is not a moment for shallow spirituality or sporadic commitment. God is urging you to come out of the shadows and bravely walk in your truth's light. The only people who will survive this time with favor are those who maintain their integrity and faith. Keep in mind that isolation does not equate to rejection. It indicates readiness. Those who make it through this test will be polished and prepared to accept God's bigger plan. This time of year calls for honesty and bravery. Therefore, don't be scared to confront the realities of your life and relationship with God. It is essential to your breakthrough. So, consider this. Are you prepared to be separated from the fake? Are you ready to be the authentic article? True, dependable, and unflappable? The eyes of God are watching. This is your time for change and spiritual insight. Do not be misled. This is not a practice run or a rehearsal. In the next 3 weeks, every choice you make, every statement you make, and every action you perform will have a significant impact, not only on you, but also on the courts of heaven. The spiritual world is holding its breath, watching to see whether you will rise or fall, while angels are watching your fidelity. There are everlasting repercussions for your obedience or lack thereof. Your readiness to be totally involved and present at this moment is essential to God's divine purposes. Now is the moment to block out the outside world, quiet the murmur of uncertainty, and give His voice your whole attention. The sky is about to move powerfully. However, they are awaiting your signal, your trust, and your preparedness. This urgency demands more than mere involvement. It requires unflinching trust and unrelenting dedication. The eyes of heaven are not only observing, they are cheering you on in the hopes that you will succeed. Will you respect or disregard this holy moment? What you do next is crucial. With God at your side, you may go with assurance, but realize how serious this heavenly duty is. Now is the time to live as if your legacy and your life depended upon it. Because they do. The spirit of procrastination has imprisoned many for far too long, resulting in lost opportunities, unanswered prayers, and stalled advancement. However, God says that this season marks the end of delays. Momentum is growing as the bonds that have held you back are being broken. But one essential component is needed for this breakthrough: obedience. God's promises are about to come to pass, but He can't avoid your accountability. You have to react right away with action motivated by faith. The mentality of delay has been nourished by every burden and maybe later statement. However, you break the grasp of delay and unleash divine acceleration when you choose to answer God's call without hesitation. Consider a race where some runners pause at the starting line after the pistol has fired. Those who go forward gain ground and win, while those who pause lose valuable time. The benefits of this season can only be unlocked by your obedience. Don't allow doubt keep you from making progress. You have two options: either keep waiting or accept obedience and move into the swift development of God's plan. There is a decline in the spirit of delay. Will you be the one with a powerful finish to the race? In addition to His unfathomable love, God is a God of order and purpose. In His realm, disobedience is a serious offense. It has the power to permanently block doors and derail destiny. You run the danger of losing everything God has laboriously prepared for you If you disregard his voice, disregard the obvious warnings, or pick your own route out of convenience, consider the great religious heroes who faltered because they did not follow the rules completely. Their tales serve as cautionary tales about missed possibilities as well as failure. Those who rely on your leadership, your breakthrough, and your testimony may be impacted by your disobedience in addition to your own life. Disobedience, however, never ends. The repentant may receive grace, but it requires humility and a sincere change of heart. Now is the moment to change your direction before the effects become permanent. God is urgently and sincerely urging you to reconnect with His will. Now is the time for serious introspection. Do you hear me? Will you give up your will in favor of His? The decision you make next might be the difference between miraculous healing and loss. God gave you a certain purpose and destiny from the day you were born. You weren't made for mediocrity, distraction, or failure. You were made for grandeur. However, the enemy's strategy is to divert your attention, overload your brain, and engulf you in the cacophony of life's diversions, causing you to lose sight of your identity and purpose. Toxic relationships, bad habits, pessimistic ideas, and even well-intentioned but misguided counsel are all examples of distractions. You are pulled off course by these diversions, leaving your heart heavy with frustration and your goals in the dust. But when your focus is divided, glory cannot be achieved. You have to control your spirit and aggressively protect your concentration. Silencing the outside world and focusing only on God's voice will provide clarity. Your capacity to say no to things that don't serve your purpose and yes to the divine plan that is blazing in your soul will determine your breakthrough, elevation, and glory. Keep in mind that you are destined for greatness. Don't let the diversions of the adversary destroy the wonderful destiny that is already predetermined for your life. The next 3 weeks will be a battleground. Heaven has started a strong campaign in your favor, but hell won't do nothing. You will encounter spiritual resistance that seeks to perplex, postpone, and demoralize you. Now is not the time to get discouraged or give up. Now is the moment to fight with faith and to maintain your ground. The adversary is aware of God's work in your life and will do all in his power to thwart it. You could have unforeseen obstacles, emotional upheavals, or periods of uncertainty intended to throw you off course. But keep in mind that the triumph is sweeter the bigger the conflict. You're not alone yourself. Your warrior, God, is stronger than any force against you. Use God's whole armor, prayer, and worship to become ready. Pay close attention to what you let into your heart and intellect. Fight the charges and falsehoods. The adversary wants you to give up, but you are designed to persevere and triumph. The extent of your breakthrough will depend on how loyal you are over these 21 days. Keep on because hell cannot halt what paradise began. Your current situation won't be the only thing impacted by the choices you make this season. Your future will be shaped by them for years or perhaps decades. Your decisions at this pivotal point in your spiritual development will reverberate throughout eternity. How you react now will determine the legacy you create or ruin. Consider the people that came before you, faith-based heroes who dealt with similar situations. Their failings became historical lessons, and their obedience paved the way for generations to come. This season is your chance to either write a significant chapter in that tale or to pass up the opportunity forever. Now is the moment to act boldly, wisely, and intentionally. Opt for God's plan above worldly comfort, obedience over compromise, and confidence over fear. Your strength now will be appreciated by your future self and others who admire you. Don't undervalue how important this moment is. The effect you leave behind and the trajectory of the rest of your life are determined by what you do today. You could have been undervalued, questioned, or mocked by others around you for too long. Your aspirations seem to be thwarted by their disparaging remarks, severe critiques, and incredulity. However, God is reversing the situation. The first people to stand in awe of your ascent will be those who scoffed at your hardships. knowing that the same individuals who formerly mocked you will now be witnesses to your triumph brings a sublime delight. Their incredulity simply makes your breakthrough more powerful. Allowing God's light to shine so brilliantly that no one can dispute His power in your life is more important than seeking retribution. Never allow their derision to harden your heart. Instead, let it strengthen your resolve. Make the most of this opportunity to develop, strengthen your faith, and be ready for the honor that lies ahead. Your promotion is more than simply a personal one. It serves as evidence of God's faithfulness to everyone who had doubts. Remain resolute. Every doubter will be silenced by your impending breakthrough. The spiritual conflict around you is more fierce than before. This is not a moment for spiritual sleep or complacency. The adversary is aware that many lives will be impacted by the breakthrough you are about to make. He is thus intensifying his assaults out of perplexity, fear, and despair. You need to be aware and watchful if you want to win this fight. Your faith is your armor, the Bible is your shield, and prayer is your sword. Remain grounded in God's truth while shielding your heart and intellect from harmful influences. Keep in mind that those who are alert and ready will win this season. Persistent activity and unflinching confidence are essential in this spiritual struggle. Avoid letting fatigue compromise your defenses. You must remain alert, continue to pray, and keep battling if you want the breakthrough you want. The observant will prevail. The moment to be firm is now. God sometimes shuts doors in our life to keep us safe from pathways that no longer serve our best benefit, not to punish us. Expect God to begin firmly shutting doors if you have been clinging to occupations, relationships, or behaviors that sap your soul or divert your purpose. Letting go may be difficult, particularly if you're connected or unsure of what's coming next. But you will remain trapped if you hold on to the past. God's closures serve as reminders to put your faith in Him for better, more promising prospects that fit with His life's purpose. Have the guts to let go of things that are no longer necessary for your trip. Allow God's fresh portals to enter your hands and heart, doors of heavenly favor, progress, and blessing. These closures are really disguised beginnings rather than ends. Have faith that God's knowledge is much greater than your own. His intentions for you are magnificent, and His timing couldn't be better. You are at the threshold of a breakthrough. Your blessing is so near that it is almost within reach. But blessings also bring challenges. The adversary is aware that your moment of triumph is drawing close and will do every effort to thwart it. To prevent you from achieving your anticipated breakthrough, he will spread misinformation, create misunderstandings, and erect barriers. But keep in mind that you are surrounded like a fortress by God's protection. The gift is so strong that the assaults are intense. Every selected warrior must bear this spiritual conflict between promise and combat. It is your responsibility to maintain your religion. Refuse to give up and keep in mind that those who continue will win. Don't let frustration or anxiety rob you of your breakthrough. Remind yourself that pressure produces diamonds whenever you feel the pressure increasing. You are being shaped into an indestructible, bright spiritual diamond during this season. Now take a firm stance. You're closer than you believe to receiving your blessing. Continue to move on, maintain your faith, and resist giving up to the adversary.